The first thing I saw was my brother's shadow through the frosted glass, broad shoulders, baseball bat resting on one side. Behind him, the muffled shuffle of footsteps. My chest tightened as I froze halfway down the stairs. It wasn't just him. There were more of them. My mother's voice, low but sharp, hissed something I couldn't make out. Then came the knock, slow, deliberate, like a warning. For a split second, I thought maybe this was some awful misunderstanding. Maybe they were here to talk. But when the second knock hit louder, heavier, I felt it. The line had already been crossed. I opened the door. The night air hit cold against my skin, carrying the smell of wet asphalt and something metallic, like rain over rust. My brother, Jake, stood there gripping the bat with one hand, our mother beside him clutching her purse like a shield. Behind them, my cousin Dean held a crowbar, eyes darting between us. "Sell the house, Noah," Jake said. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." I swallowed hard. "You're not serious." Mom stepped forward, her voice trembling with frustration. "We're drowning, Noah. You have the money. You're the only one who can fix this." I glanced past them toward my driveway, where my sister Emily sat in the passenger seat of her car, arms folded, eyes cold. Even from here I could see the disgust twisting her face. Not toward them but toward me. "You want me to sell the house Dad left me," I said. "To pay off Jake's gambling debt?" Jake's jaw clenched. "Our debt. Family debt." That word family hit me like a blade. It started 3 months earlier, the night Jake came over drunk and desperate. He'd sat on my porch steps in the rain, hands shaking, telling me he'd borrowed money from someone who doesn't forgive late payments. At the time, I didn't know it was $150,000. I thought it was 5, maybe 10. He cried that night. Real tears. Said he was going to fix everything if I could just give him one more chance. So I did. I gave him $10,000. Told him to sort his life out. He promised me he would. Then came the calls. Then the threats. Then the day my boss pulled me into his office and said someone had tried to contact me at work about a personal matter. That's when I realized my family wasn't just asking for help. They were dragging me into the hole with them. Now, standing in my doorway with 4 pairs of eyes staring me down, I could almost hear Dad's voice in my head. "Don't let them eat you alive, son. Kindness doesn't mean letting people take your spine." "Put the bat down, Jake," I said quietly. "You don't want to do this." Jake smirked, but it wasn't amusement, it was exhaustion. "I already did this, Noah. You just haven't accepted it yet." Mom started crying. "We raised you better than this. You're really going to let your family lose everything?" The guilt hit me hard. For a heartbeat, I almost caved. She knew exactly which nerve to strike. All my life, I'd been the responsible one. The one who patched the holes they made. Every time Jake got in trouble, every time Mom overspent, every time Emily moved back home, it was me. I fixed it. I paid. I endured. But this time felt different. "Dad left this house to me," I said, my voice breaking. "Not to all of us. To me. Because he knew this would happen." Mom's tears vanished. "That's not true," she spat. "You were his favorite. He spoiled you. The rest of us got scraps." Dean shifted awkwardly. "Maybe we should just..." Jake cut him off, slamming the bat against the porch railing with a sharp crack. "He's got cash. He's sitting in this big empty house while we're out here drowning." The rage in his voice startled me. This wasn't just desperation. It was resentment, years of it. Suddenly it all made sense. The snide remarks about me, thinking I'm better. The tension at holidays. The way they'd stopped inviting me to family dinners. They didn't just want money. They wanted me to suffer. I backed up into the living room, my heart pounding. "You're not coming in here." Jake stepped forward. "Then you're gonna make this ugly." When he crossed the threshold, I grabbed the only thing near me, the old fire poker by the fireplace. My hand shook, but I held it tight. The sound of my pulse filled my ears. I didn't want to fight him. But something inside me snapped, the years of being used, manipulated, guilt into sacrificing everything for people who never saw me as more than a resource. "Don't make me do this," I whispered. But he didn't stop. He lunged first. The bat swung wide, knocking over a lamp. Shards of glass scattered across the floor. I ducked, swinging the poker instinctively, catching him in the arm. He shouted, stumbling back. Mom screamed his name. Dean froze in the doorway, torn between loyalty and fear. In that chaos, something strange happened. I felt nothing. No fear, no sorrow, no hesitation. Just a hollow calm, like my emotions had finally burned themselves out. When it was over, Jake stood panting, bleeding from his forearm, glaring at me with pure hatred. "You're dead to us," he hissed. I almost laughed. Finally. They left that night, the crunch of gravel fading into the distance. I locked the door, then sank to the floor, trembling. The police came 2 hours later after a neighbor reported shouting. I told them everything. They took statements, promised to follow up. But by morning, the weight of it all hit me. The silence in the house, the shattered lamp, the dent in the railing. They hadn't come for money. They'd come to punish me for no longer being their safety net. As I cleaned the mess, I found one of Jake's old photos lying face down on the floor. Us as kids, arms around each other, grinning in front of Dad's truck. I stared at it for a long time. That night, I locked every door and window. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty for protecting myself. Blood may be thicker than water, but sometimes it's poison. And the only way to survive is to stop drinking it.